Herbert and the Chargers improving to 2-0 with a 20-9 win over the Raiders last night on Monday Night Football. The quarterback threw for 242 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He's now 7-3 all-time against the Raiders with 20 touchdowns and 2 picks, and they're now in sole position of the division. Danny-O was on the call in Vegas and inexplicably is still now. He works very hard. But what were your biggest takeaways, Danny-O, from the Chargers win last night?
It feels different in LA this year with Justin Herbert. It's this philosophy of, in their eyes, they think they've got the best player in football, and they're going to be ultra aggressive with him on early downs. And I think you're seeing that play itself out with the performance by Justin Herbert, their confidence in Justin Herbert. It's helping with their protection. It's helping with the shots downfield. He is healthy, so the legs have just been this massive development. It's in that conversation that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes are in, and then this defense is suffocating. Everything is hard when you play this defense. What play call can you get to? Can you run the football? If you take a shot downfield, the sticky coverage, you just are forced into so many mistakes that are uncharacteristic. It's a very complete football team, and it just feels different in LA when it comes to their belief of how good they actually are. 15 passes defense yesterday, and you're watching that game. They did a lot of that without Khalil Mack, who got hurt in the first half. Chargers, by the way, favored by 2.5 points at home for Sunday's divisional game against the Broncos, but we stay in the division because the Chargers are cruising, but we know the Chiefs are stuck in neutral. They lose to the Eagles, and now they're 0-2 for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, and the first time since 2014 when they last missed the playoffs. Remember, Casey's won the AFC West 9 straight seasons. They're also in danger of ending that historic streak. 9 straight division titles, 10 straight playoff appearances are both the second longest streaks in NFL history, trailing only the Patriots, who, had that guy named Tom Brady. Noted color guy. Dan, how do you view the AFC West right now with Casey sitting in the cellar? Yeah, listen, the Chiefs have earned the right to say, you got to go through them, okay? You got to knock them off. The Chargers and the Broncos are the class of the division right now, and that's obvious just by watching the two football teams play. The Chiefs are offensively are just trying to figure out kind of what their identity is. Who are they? What they can turn to, who they can turn to. They're sitting 0-2, L, to your point. And I would argue Patrick Mahomes played 2 pretty big-time games against 2 pretty darn good defenses. They're not good up front anymore, or they haven't been through 2 weeks. They're obviously hurt on the perimeter. They haven't been able to run the football well. They haven't been able to build explosive plays. They've taken shots downfield occasionally. They've hit a couple, missed more than not. And so this is just an offense that looks very uncharacteristic of itself, certainly what it used to be a couple years ago. And then the Chargers complete, and the Broncos should be 2-0. So massive game between them two, but they're the class of the division right now. You still got to go beat the Chiefs. You got to go do it. No question. You got to go do it. But they've got some problems. Especially because the Chiefs are still missing a couple of key components on that offensive side, too. And the last time we saw a team start out 0-2 and win the Super Bowl, the Giants, who, ironically, the Chiefs will play on Sunday. For much more, thank you, Danny-O. On the NFL, we get it over to Tony and Mike in our PTI bonus segment.
All right, Wilbon, where do you rank the Chargers in the AFC after 2 weeks?
1. In the AFC. I mean, look, to me, it's got to be between them and Buffalo right now. So I'm talking about strength of schedule. Yes, Buffalo beat Baltimore, and you can say that tops everything. And okay, fine, but then Buffalo beat the Jets, and that doesn't top anything. So with strength of schedule, I'm going to give the nod. So far, it's an early sample size. I'm going to give it to the Chargers for having beaten Kansas City and won at the Raiders. And the Raiders, with Pete Carroll leading the way, I think are going to be better than people thought coming into this season, and certainly better than your Jets. So I'm going to say that. And, Herbert and Harbaugh, there's just some magic in that. I mean, Harbaugh, come on now. He's going to go down as a great coach, as a Hall of Fame coach for what he did in the NFL and in college. I don't want him to have to go very long without Khalil Mack, because even though Mack is past maybe the peak of his prime, he can still get it done and help a defensive front get it done in San Diego. Yes, I said San Diego. I'm going Chargers. Yeah. 1.
All right, so you have them 1. I just want to make sure you have the Chargers 1 right now. They're 1 right now. In the interest of full disclosure, I think I need to tell the people who are watching that 2 weeks ago in the NFC, you had Green Bay 1.
I did.
You said, Green Bay is going to go to the Super Bowl. They're my pick for the Super Bowl. Then yesterday, you backed off a little bit and you said, no, I got the Eagles 1 now. All right,
it's fluid.
So after 2 weeks, you're saying the Chargers, but after 3 weeks, you might be saying something else. In fact, if Denver goes to the Chargers and wins that game, you're going to say something else. The most surprising team in the league to me is also in the AFC, and it's Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I don't know how far they're going to go, but I'm stunned at how good they've done already. The reason you can take the Chargers right now, outside of Buffalo, is that Baltimore gagged late in that game.
Yeah.
And Kansas City is 0-2, and the Steelers, another traditional powerhouse, they look lackluster at the moment. So I understand going for San Diego, because we call them San Diego.
We always will.
I get that, but you know, part of me says let's wait to 5 weeks instead of just 2. Let's just see down the road how it works out.
But they ask us today, so we got to say something today. And today weren't they the San Diego Superchargers? Wasn't that a promotional thing they had at one point?
Yeah.
Still the San Diego Chargers here on this set.
Yeah.
That's it.
Chargers.
We're done. Back to you.
Tony, Mike, thank you. NFL insider Dan Graziano is with us. Take us through the latest with some of the banged-up starting quarterbacks, and let's start with Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels hurt his knee in Thursday night's game against the Packers, and head coach Dan Quinn of the Commanders said that he's not sure if Jayden Daniels is going to be able to play this week. The Commanders aren't going to be sure probably for a couple of days, Kevin. They get back out on the practice field tomorrow. They'll see what, if anything, he can do, how he feels over the coming days, and probably make a decision later this week. If Jayden Daniels can't play, the backup is Marcus Mariota. In San Francisco, Brock Purdy missed last week's game with a toe injury. Mac Jones stepped in and performed extremely well, and they won the game. Purdy, it hasn't been ruled out for this week, but based on what I'm hearing, it sounds like he might have to miss another week, but maybe no more than that. So we'll see. The 49ers feel good about Mac Jones after what he did the other day, so there's no reason to rush Purdy back at this point.
How about this stat? It's the 49ers' fourth 2-0 start under Kyle Shanahan. They've reached the NFC Championship game each of the previous 3 times they start 2-0. All right, Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy out 2 to 4 weeks with that high ankle sprain. Why could Minnesota's schedule play a part in when McCarthy returns?
This is interesting, Kevin, because we're being told 2 to 4 weeks on McCarthy. We're starting week 3. In week 4, they play a game in Dublin, Ireland. Then they're staying over there and playing week 5 in London, and then they have a bye in week 6. So when they're getting ready to go to Dublin next week, it'll be fascinating to see whether J.J. McCarthy goes with them. If he does, that might indicate that they think he might be back for one of those games. If he doesn't, then it might indicate that they want to go on the longer end of the timetable, and you might not see him till after that week 6 bye. So keep an eye out next week for any information about the Vikings travel itinerary and who's on the plane.
Graz, we got info coming in right now from Shefty saying the Vikings running back Aaron Jones is going on IR with a hamstring injury, and the team signed quarterback Desmond